Hello, everyone. Today we're going to just quickly unbox one of my favorite games, which is Bubsy. Well, it's not one of my favorite games, but it's one of my favorite games on Super Nintendo, and I really like this. So I wanted to go through it real quick because everyone's seen the game, everyone's seen the footage, but not everyone has seen the box. So let's open it up. I got it in a protective case. Let's get it out of there. There we go. So one of the reasons I really like this game is not because it's not necessarily very good. It's not it's not the biggest game. It says it has 16 levels. It's not very big, but it was mostly because I wanted to become an animator and as a kid, and this game was full of animations. You could die in several different ways, and it was just genuinely really funny. If you waited too long, he would knock on the screen and say "Hello, are you still there?" And stuff like that. I really liked it. I think there were a lot of interesting levels, and you had the fun fair, and you had a Canada level, I believe, and I think it was a little bit more original than most games out there at that point. So I figured let's open it up and let's see what the instruction manual is like, and also let's see what the backside is like. So I actually got the English / Dutch / French version. So the European version is basically what I'm trying to say. I always love that they took photos of a television. Let's see if you can see it. You can even see it's a little blurry. So they didn't really have a digital screenshot that they just blew up. But no way I can cram all my cool features on this back of this wimpy box. Yes, Bubsy had an attitude, and he was always breaking the fourth wall. It was making a lot of movie references, kind of like gags, a lot of references in general, I think, or at least making a lot of puns. It's more like puns than references, I think. So when you're a bankable star like me, well, you're not a bankable star. You had one episode of a cartoon that failed. I don't think it ever got screened on television, but whatever. They don't skimp on the megs. No siree, Bobcat. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Nursery Bobcat, whatever. 16 megabytes, that was a selling point back then. 16 Mondo megs of marvelous me bouncing out of this cart, running, leaping, flying, and falling all over your face. Sure. He's trying to save the earth from woolies. No, woolies aren't what you get from wearing cheap underwear. I don't even know what that joke is supposed to be. Well, woolies are space dweebs. And flying sources out to purloin the Earth supply of yarn balls. Yes, they want to steal yarn balls, apparently, and then, well, they scatter them all around, and you gotta find them back. But there's no real point in getting them. But that's fine. So yes, it says over 40 animations, and yes, there was a selling point. And then 5-year-olds, countless fur balls. Let's see, 60 levels. 300 screens per level. That I don't even know what that doesn't make sense, but whatever. You had vertical scrolling and horizontal scrolling, so that was pretty cool. Just going to show you a Ferminator movie. Sure, Ferminator. See, that's one of the references. Interactive cartoon. Well, I wouldn't say an interactive cartoon, but it definitely had a lot of animations, and there was voice acting in there as well. I think that was pretty cool for Super Nintendo standards. So let's see. Spent a Saturday morning playing cartoons, not watching. More sound effects. I plop, I boing, I splat. I need medical attention. Okay. Gorgeous graphics. I'm prettier than Mel and Debbie Gibson combined. Cool. Let's open it up. There we go. I got a pretty pristine edition. The cartridge is a little messed up. It pushed in there, but that's fine. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. I'm not sure. But you got the claws. The claws encounters of the third kind, and then get the little book. I think we're mostly gonna look at the book right now, which is in French and in Dutch. So claws encounters of the third kind, and then Rencontres de troisième griffe. No, I don't know what that means. Mode d'emploi means, and handleiding means manual. So it even came with a little comic, and I think that's really cool. This is the French part, so let's see if I can find the English part or the Dutch. Well, I'm afraid it's only Dutch, so I'm going to translate it for you. In a darkness in the far reaches of space, there's a something evil luring strange worlds. It's called the planet Rayon. I'm not sure why it's called the planet Rayon. And even stranger races, I think. Let's see. Creatures that don't have anything to do with reality anymore. Well, that's them, the woolies. Creatures like the woolies, they just really want your wool for some reason. I'm not sure why. And there's Polly and Esther, obviously upon, well, Professor Nylon. What is Professor Nylon apparently? Do you have found a planet where we can find wool? Yes, your nittiness, I'm just going to say nittiness. Just a look through your fiber optic wiroscopio thingy. That's really interesting. Let's see, Eureka. There's the mother of all wools. And there he is, just staring right back at you. Do you think Bubsy knows he's being watched? Probably. He's breaking the fourth wall. Look at that creature. He looks so silly. I don't think he's wearing pants. That's kind of funny. Oh, he is actually, he does know he's being watched. He says, like, we big stars don't even have a private life anymore. So that's kind of funny. I really liked it when these things came with little stories and little comics, like a comic. That was really rare, and I think that the drawings are really well done. So, you know, everyone is always like crapping on Bubsy, but they, you know, the first game really stood out. With how much love went into it. So they prepare their attack, I think, or their travel, and they call these the silk saucers, I think. How much wool do we use? About 2 light years per meter. So I don't even know what that means, but that's fine. He just ripped something out of the ground. I'm not sure why. He's kicking a rock, and he says, "I'm bad. Yes, I am bad." While he's breaking things, I'm not sure what he's doing. Is Bubsy supposed to be the bad guy? I'm not sure. And then, well, actually, he's hunting a hunter. He say, "Go ahead, make my day." And I think he's protecting the woolly animals. And then he's twisting it around his neck. He's supposed to be a badass, I think, but also I'm not sure. Sometimes I slap him, sometimes I bite him, and that depends on my mood. All right. And he's also very strong, apparently. He's heroic and diplomatic, it says. Well, he immediately tried to kill the hunter, but that's fine. Yes, it can happen. And he's dreaming about dreaming. That's interesting. It's like Inception, I think. Inception was actually based off of Bubsy. Did you know that? That's not true. And then one of the woolly planets says, "I suck and I dust." Very interesting. Okay, almost done. I think somewhere they were afraid of cat hair. They were allergic to cat hair or something. I'm not sure. You know, they he gets sucked up into space, and then he gets thrown out. I guess he was shot into space. Oh, you can see all the levels there. You can see like the desert, and there's a train tracks. That's pretty cool. That's one of the levels, and then there is the fun fair with a roller coaster and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. And he says, like, "Can I remind the producer that I'm a endangered species?" So again, breaking that fourth wall. And then he falls into a thing. He falls, I think, into like a possum. No, that's not a possum. That's a gopher. Whatever. And eventually, I think he's going out on revenge. And that's how the adventure starts. Well, he doesn't start out in the desert, but that's fine. It actually tells you how to start the game. It's just like put the cartridge in. It's a convoluted way of saying that. It's really interesting. Point the front to the north or something. It is really weird, but you know, it's supposed to be funny. It actually says that Stephen King was supposed to write the manual. That was in his contract. So again, it's kind of like Gex in that sense, or well, Gex is more like Bubsy, I guess. I don't know. It's really breaking that fourth wall and making references. But anyway, let's skip the whole story because that's a lot of stuff. And well, again, it's like a whole thing where it's trying to be funny. It's starting to be a funny manual. It actually says it as a 2-player mode, but that's just like one player dies and the other player, continues, and there's a different shirt. I'm not even sure if that's in the game, if it actually made it into the game. Often, like, these manuals kind of lied about what was in the game, like how many points something would give, and what the names of the creatures were and stuff like that. But that's fine. It would have been really cool playing doing 2-player. Well, maybe it's in there. And well, this is not really interesting. Is there a password system? I'm not even sure if there's a password system. I don't even think you need it, because it's very easy. Well, not easy. It's short, so you can even like it's even explaining how to see the credits. It's really nonsense, but back then you needed that info, I guess. But just like browsing through this, which is always like interesting. And here it says like, well, points. Yes, you can get points, and if you beat enemies in a row, you get extra lives. Well, it actually extra points, but I don't even think that's, I don't think points do anything in this game, which really sucks. And there's, like high definition versions of all the stuff that's in the game. If you get wet, you will actually puff up, and then you get bonus points if you finish a level. Again, not really useful. And that's a Volgasmatron, and it's somewhere between 1,000 and 7 points, I guess. There's the points numbers of the colored wool things, and it's weird because, again, they're useless. You don't really need them. And then you get the 1-up shirts. Like, you get 9 lives, start out with 9 lives, and then you get numbered shirt, you get the 1 and the 2 live shirts, and the Shadow Bubsy, and then Blinking Bubsy. I think those do exactly the same thing, though. I never understood what the difference is between them, but the different song, though. You get continues, and then all the enemies. That's really interesting. You can jump on twigs, and then there's the water slides. I thought it was really funny, like if the level went upside down. That really surprised me. And like if you jump on a car, that's fine, but if you jump on the ones with an open roof, you actually get down. You die. And here's all the level stuff on the roller coasters and stuff like that. That's really fun. That's a really fun level, I think. You get work case, but they often like send you all the way back to the beginning, so they're really stupid. And yes, woolies, they eat. Oh well, actually they eat wool. That's really interesting. I thought the piano, like going down the hill, that was really funny in the game. It really caught me off guard. You get the giraffes with the sunglasses. I still draw giraffes with sunglasses because of Bubsy. And there's a lot of different stuff here. Hand drawn images of the enemies, and I think that's really cool. And then those actually spit out, the gumballs spit out gumballs, and they kill you in one hit, and the gumballs are really hard to see. So yeah, and then there's the legal stuff, and if you have questions about NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy games, just call this number. Apparently, I wonder what happens if I call them now. But and you can help, and you can call them, and they will help you. And it doesn't actually say how much it is. These days, I think it's a requirement to state that, but that's not in there. And then there's a few pages of blank where you can probably write your tips and hints and stuff like that, and maybe passwords, and there you go. I think it's a really fun game. Definitely go out and try it out any way you can. Don't bother with Bubsy 2. I thought it was not really interesting. It's way too chaotic and badly themed, and the newer ones, the really new ones, like from the last 5 years or so, they rebooted them. I don't think they did it really well. I think they did it like awfully. I think you will enjoy the first game. Just play the first game and don't listen to the critics, because the first game is a lot of fun. Thank you so much, and see you guys around. Bye bye.